Hello, good evening. Welcome to Why I Like Having My Heart Broken, an inner monologue spoken to you all by me, Todd. I don't know about you, but as a Reds fan, I'm just really fucking pissed off. Um, it's really, really hard being in a world where you try to set yourself up to be prepared for how bad things are going to be and how you're trying to be disappointed, right? You're trying to alleviate disappointment by just, accepting that failure is going to come in the very imminent future, and then you get a taste of success, and then everything's all that the demons they turn off, and you go, all right, I'm back in, I'm back on the saddle, and then you watch the Reds play the Braves, the best team in the NL East, maybe the best team in the National League. We're early in the season, we're not sure yet. And they fucking blow it 3 nights in a row. And then before that, they play the Phillies, who are the second best team in the National League, and blow it in the 9th with just poor managing. So you think, all right, well, it's David Bell's fault. It's David Bell's fault. This is the reason why they're losing. And then you look at the bullpen the last 3 nights, 3 quality starts, 3 blown games, all 7th inning or later. I'm just frustrated, guys. I'm angry. I don't know how else to put it. I'm angry. I'm angry at the Castellini family. I'm angry at David Bell. I'm angry at the bullpen. I'm angry at David Johnson. I'm mad. I'm mad about how this shit's going, and I want to share my feelings with you guys to tell you guys if you feel the same way. It's okay to be fucking mad because you're supposed to be mad right now. You're not supposed to be accepting failure. Fuck you, Phil. Fuck you.
It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
See it occur, and you look at Steph and Clay, and even Draymond with his lack of performance.
Is it 2 in a row? 7 points for him. The twirling Johnson. Melting into the defense. The front carry. Strikes. Swing, fly ball. Well hit left center. Ronald Acuna has home. Rookie rushing record for the Steelers.
Look, he came into this game averaging 3.67 yards per carry. 42nd out of 49 qualified rushers.
Freeze to begin the third quarter. It has been incredible. Here he comes again. Oh, goodness. And the Greek basketball god. And he was a great guy to teach because
Evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Bro, what the fuck? We're already 3 minutes into this thing. What happened?
I don't know. I wasn't.
All right,
there,
y'all.
Tell you.
Weird. I felt out of body for a second here.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. It feels so good to be back. Welcome to Ring 'em Up, presented by Rally Tail Sports, a podcast made for us and also for you. Bobby, how we doing this evening?
I'm fabulous, sir. How are you?
Dude,
I'll be
I-
okay if we can get some. Finally win a game here tonight.
You know what's weird is I strangely feel you vibing it. You vibing right now? Is that what we're doing?
Try vibe it.
You know what? It's funny. I strangely feel like exceptionally better than I did. I don't know, like 6 to 7 minutes ago. Not sure why or what happened, but I feel really, really good right now. I feel like something that's been weighing on my mind for a week, almost a week, maybe a week and a half, is just gone. And I don't know. Maybe it's just being here with you. I don't know. We'll see.
I do have that effect on people sometimes. Carp, what's up, man? Good evening. 4-1 currently expecting to blow it. We'll see. Schwarber does indeed.
What's that? Is that the Reds?
Yeah. So we'll see if the bullpen can wrangle something together and finally close out a game, but not getting hopes up in any way, shape, or form. But Todd, how are you, sir?
I want to share something with the world that I'm currently doing right now. I feel like that has kind of solidified my my fatherhood. I currently have a beverage in a fucking koozie that's not a beer. How wild is that? Ask me why.
I feel like I don't even know you. Ask you why? Yeah, why do you have a Powerade in a koozie?
Because it was sweating so much and I didn't want to ruin the table. Yeah. Weird.
Okay. Yeah, you're officially old.
Yeah.
Worry about the furniture.
Gray hairs in the beard, fucking no hair on my head, koozies on a Powerade. Things have changed drastically, and I'm of the mindset right now. I'm just riding the wave, baby. Just riding the wave through.
See where it takes you.
If you see me next time you see me and you see me with my t-shirt tucked in my khaki pants, smack me because I'm fucking living in the upside down. I'm in the upside down, and I need somebody to bring me right back
with the calf high white socks, and then you'll be in like Flynn, baby.
Oh shit! Oh man, happy to be here with you, brother. How was your Easter?
Easter was good, man. Easter was good. Spent a little bit of it moving. Was able to come back and get a nice holiday ham here at the Lehman residence, which was wonderful. I mean, Pops always does it right. Yeah, makes that nice little maple glaze to go with it. Little homemade maple glaze to go on the ham, and throw that all over the scalloped potatoes and all on one plate. And you don't know what you're eating, but you're loving every second of it. And it was excellent. How was yours,
brother? Do you want to do an impromptu top 3 favorite Easter foods right here, right now on Ring 'em Up, presented by Rally Towel Sports, the podcast for you as well?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I couldn't think of anything more I'd want to do.
All right, so let's do. We'll do rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and on shoot we will give our gesture.
Okay, so
you ready?
1, 2, 3, and then bam. Okay.
Rock, paper,
on
scissors,
your count.
shoot.
On your count.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Snipping it. All right.
Ham.
Brother, deviled eggs. Me and my boy Carp are in the same page.
I hate deviled eggs. I hate deviled eggs.
Shout out
I love eggs. I can do them. I can do them sunny side up. I can do them scrambled. Not a big fan of poached eggs, but like the deviled eggs and like the boiled eggs, I can't get behind it. I just can't. There's something about
Can't do it? No. Dude.
I've tried deviled eggs in every way, shape, and form. I've even tried them in a really nice restaurant like J. Alexander's.
Couldn't do it?
Was not a fan.
Okay. You're talking to a guy that ate every bit of
I'm sure
18 deviled eggs on Sunday. I'm not talking like that. I'm counting 2 as 1 here, right? I'm not talking the halves. I'm talking 8. Yeah, I'm talking. Let's say 36 deviled egg servings. My mother-in-law, you know, Kathy's as I've entered the family, she has doubled the deviled eggs for me.
I guess she makes a good deviled egg then.
Dude, yeah. Carb said gave the old lady a Dutch oven that night.
Probably.
Brother, there ain't nothing worse than deviled egg farts. There ain't nothing worse because you're not talking about just the egg itself. You're talking about Carp. I don't know how yours the specific recipe for deviled eggs because there are people that will argue with me here. The mayo mustard combo and deviled eggs for me is what does it. Some people only do them with mustard. Some people only do them with mayonnaise, or they'll do the mayonnaise and mustard seed. But I like a nice yellow mustard mayonnaise combo deviled egg. And there's something about an egg that's been dyed that you're eating a fucking blue hard-boiled egg, and you just unbelievable. So it's a really
glad you enjoyed it.
It's a really wonderful experience.
Some Cajun and paprika.
Some Cajun and paprika. Who cares about paprika?
No, I just
All right,
deviled eggs, not my cup of tea. Let's see. I got ham, so we've got the main course. So I need a. I mean, side dish. It's gonna. I mean, it's probably gonna have to be. It's probably gonna have to be like literally the dinner that I had, the scalloped potatoes. I love.
It's a great choice.
Potatoes.
They're just an au gratin, a scalloped.
Yeah. Au gratin, anything of that vein, I'm all over it, and I'm smashing.
All right, you're right. It's the right choice. I'm gonna stick to just being a fat boy. I'm gonna go Hawaiian rolls because if you're eating that ham, make a little slider, right? You open that Hawaiian roll up.
That's a great idea.
I
never thought about
if you're really out of control like I am, you also take the deviled egg and put it in the slider and then put the ham in it and eat it that way because I'm a savage. I was
gonna recommend that for you, but you beat me to the punch. So
yeah, if it's been thought of, I've probably eaten it. Yeah, thank you so much. Ooh, Carp saying he smokes a pork butt and do pulled pork on Easter. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, you're a father. You get to ultimately make the decision on what the protein is for the fam. So
yeah, no, that's
I dig it. I think a pulled pork sandwich can't be. I mean, here's the thing: is that pulled pork is one of those things too. Like but if you're new to smoking, it can be challenging because pulled pork can get very dry very quickly. So good for you for honing your craft and being vulnerable enough to provide that to your family. Dude, I saw one on Facebook Marketplace that looked relatively new for like $100 and thinking about pulling the trigger.
It's the reason to drink all day on the back deck. What a great answer.
That's a fact. Get up at 4 a.m., get that pork butt ready, get it all nice and get your base down so all the seasonings stick to it, get it nice and seasoned up, put it in the smoker. You look at your watch, you're like 5:15.
Hell yeah. Last on the docket for me, it's gonna have to be the coveted Reese's peanut butter egg. I don't think there's anything else that can cap off an Easter dinner as much as a nice egg-shaped Reese's peanut butter cup.
It's true. It is
fresh out the freezer.
We've had this argument multiple times on this podcast. It's been clipped. It's been dissected every way. A Reese's egg is very different from a normal Reese's cup. Anybody that tells you that they're remotely similar, number one is either an absolute psychopath and they need to be evaluated, or number two, their palate's the worst.
Carrot cake. Yes, you're absolutely correct, Todd. But Ryan coming in saying carrot cake. It has to be like carrot. I'm very funny with carrot cake. Like it can either be really good or it can be really bad. Like
Carp have to be has given 3 dad answers. I don't know if I just want to make sure I say that before you continue speaking. And I'm sorry, but
no, that's
all 3 of his things are very adult of him.
Yeah, no, I mean carrot cake. That is a mature dessert, sir. That's something I would expect. A grandparent to order at Red Lobster, or like, let me get a slice of that carrot cake to go, please. Like,
well, here's the thing: is I'm knocking you, buddy, because I'm with you on the carrot cake. I think when a carrot cake is done correctly, it can be because cream cheese icing is the meta for me.
Yes, 100%.
Cream cheese icing is my choice of icing now as an adult too. Look, carrot cake cakes, I'm with it. If you're putting cream cheese icing on a dessert, it could be fucking lemon or lime flavored. I'd still eat it, and I hate citrus.
Red velvet cupcakes, red velvet cake. That's where I live.
Ooh, child. Ooh, child.
Cream cheese icing. Oh my lord. All right, wrap it up, sir.
Man, sorry. Again, I hadn't.
We always get down a fun path talking about food.
Man, it's tough because you took the cheesy taters, you took the ham. I got my deviled eggs, I got my Hawaiian roll, so I'm happy there. Dude, I think I'm just gonna go straight specifically baked macaroni and cheese. I feel like baked macaroni and cheese happens on Easter. sometimes Christmas, occasionally Thanksgiving. It depends on who your aunt is.
If you're not eating macaroni and cheese at every holiday, or at least you don't think it's appropriate for every holiday, then I can't be friends with you.
Well, I think there's differences, right? So there's macaroni and cheese, and then there's baked macaroni and cheese.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, if you're having a nice dinner, it's you're not just gonna roll out the Kraft or the Cracker Barrel. Like you're gonna go, and you're gonna get everything yourself. Start the roux, make everything from scratch. Todd smoked me in this draft. I beg to differ. Brother, I have meats, I have potatoes, and I have eggs. And by eggs, I mean peanut butter eggs covered in chocolate.
I love it.
I don't think I got smoked. I think it was a nice balanced draft. You just like his better because you both are 100.
It's the dad connection. That's what happened. Carp and I connect on parenthood, and you haven't had any children of your own just yet. And there's something that flips there. I was talking. I mean, we talked about it before. There's a switch that flips when you become a parent, and it's extremely subconscious. You're 10 times more aware of your situational awareness is completely different. I will not let Mary or Declan walk behind me now. I've gotten in this mode as a dad in my head where I have to walk behind them because I don't want anybody sneaking up on them. That's what happens when you become a dad. It's a really weird thing.
Ryan, I do enjoy a nice egg, just not deviled.
Fertilized.
I just can't. I can't do it. I don't want the devil in my eggs on Easter.
The Lord's risen and the devil's sitting right in the middle of a fucking hard-boiled egg, boy.
All right, well,
insert the fiddle.
We'll have to put the sound over it later. We don't have any soundboard or audio cues at this moment.
Oh shit! All right, thank you for just humoring me on the impromptu Easter food draft. I think that there's plenty of people that come. It's fresh on the brain. I think Easter is a really underrated food holiday. That's just my personal opinion. I think there's a lot of people that don't consider and look, maybe I've just been super fortunate my whole life and I've gotten really great food every Easter. But
after Thanksgiving and Christmas, what is there?
4th of July, Memorial Day, you got grilling holidays, which Memorial Day is coming up next. Your boy's already got his jorts cut. I still have mine from last year. Yes, right, baby. A little sneak peek. There could or could not be some Rally Towel Sports patriotic merch coming in the future. So stay tuned for that. But I got everything ready for these next very, very important American holidays. Yeah, everything's ready to go. All right. Tonight, first things first. In the last 7 days, we have had history made in baseball. I'm speaking very specifically on Mr. Brady Ware, Division II baseball player at the University of Indianapolis. Bobby, give me a rundown. What did Mr. Brady Ware do in baseball? What's his passage in the game of baseball?
Well, for starters, he had the most epic performance on both sides of the ball that I think anybody could describe in the last century. The man went out there, pitched a complete game, no hitter, and then also hit for the cycle. And he did that in only 7 innings. Not 9, 7. He did it in 7 innings. Little background on Mr. Brady Ware. Get some homework here. He's from Poway, California. If you don't know Poway, California, because I don't know, there's no reason you should. It's known for its exceptionally fine peaches and for its vineyards. Fun fact of the day. Prior to playing at the University of Indy, he played at St. Catherine's. Is in northern, it's in San Marcos, California. So that's where he came from. He's a graduate student at the University of Indianapolis. So super smart guy. He's studying mathematics, which who's going for a graduate degree in mathematics? A psycho, in my opinion. I hate math.
A guy that can throw a no-hitter and hit for the cycle. Yes, I don't know.
He's got it all. He's got to be deficient somewhere. And a couple other fun facts. There are a few current and former MLB players that are actually from Poway, California, went to the same high school as him. Alex Dickerson, recently with the Braves and the Giants. Connor Joe, currently with the Pirates. Tyler Nevin with the Orioles. And then Xavier Scruggs. Not a long career, but with the Cards and the Marlins. So fun facts about Mr. Brady Ware. But yeah, complete game no-hitter. Cycle, did it in 7 innings. Unbelievable.
So Carp's comment is something that I want to touch on because I think that this is where my head kind of went to. Is like, he ain't, it's obviously Carp's joking. He said, he ain't shit. I did that in Little League in 5 innings. I just want everybody to understand how difficult it is to hit for the cycle itself, right? And
Stars
also
have to align.
And go back out on the field. And then I believe he only had like 3 walks, right? 3 or 4 walks.
5.
Yeah. Okay. And also not give up any hits while pitching. It's unbelievable. That's unreal. That's unreal. And St. Catherine's is an NAIA school. So shout out to the NAIA baseball programs that are giving thousands of more baseball players an opportunity to continue to play the sport of. I think the NAIA is one of those things that's still widely underrepresented as an alternate route to not having to play in the NCAA or having to play internationally out of high school, if that's something that some players have elected to do. I think the NAIA it's a nationally recognized conglomeration of schools, universities, colleges, whatever you want to call it, that they play an equally challenging 50 to 65 to 70 game schedule and still churn out great talent. And Division I, Division II, Division VI, I don't give a shit. This is the first time this has ever been documented happening in the history of baseball at the collegiate or major league level.
Yeah. Stat line really 7 innings, 11 Ks.
I wanted to make sure that we gave credit where credit was due. I did DM Brady Ware. Unfortunately, he has not gotten back to me. I'm sure he's very busy. But I actually did DM him and congratulate him for such an exceptional performance.
Yeah, I mean what else can you do? I mean I think at any level there's still there's still a degree of difficulty that comes with it. I mean, even though
I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me? I think that's on your end, big dog. It's on you.
Okay.
But
I'll take my headphones off.
But yeah, I mean, there's still a degree of difficulty that comes with that feat. I mean, you got to think, like, hitting for the cycle is hard enough, and then throwing a no-hitter is also hard enough to do. And the fact that they were both done in the same game by the same player is just the odds are he's a mathematician. He should be able to tell you the odds.
Yeah, I mean it's just unreal to think that there's, I don't know. I've been trying to read as much as I can about the guy and trying to wrap my head around it and make sure I give credit where credit's due. And it's just such a monumentous occasion in baseball.
Oh yeah.
Like I love that this thing is getting national news and that there's players, coaches, writers all over really the world that are congratulating this guy for doing the same exact thing. So hats off to Brady Ware. I can't express enough how much I respect, somebody's ability to be such an successful hitter and then also an exceptional pitcher as well. So hats off to that man for
the not academically intelligent association. That's hilarious. But yeah, no, and I think one of the, if Shohei wasn't doing what he was doing, this would be more impressive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because at the major league level, Shohei has a sub-1 ERA and is hitting 300.
Yeah, he's a god. I don't know. He's not a machine at this point. He is a literal just godlike figure. I don't understand how anybody does that, and how the Angels are still so fucking bad. If I feel like a piece of shit being a Reds fan because the Reds suck. I can't imagine what it feels like to be an Angels fan knowing that you're blowing two of the greatest careers that could ever grace a fucking baseball field.
Yeah, that has to be a special kind of hate that you would have for an organization to have to deal with that, right? I mean, I think there's some gratitude there from the fans that are left of the Angels. They've lost a lot of fans over the last couple of years.
Fuck yeah, they have.
That they get to witness two of the best talents of this generation of baseball at the same time on the same field. If you're a season ticket holder, you get it 78 to 81 times a year. But it's just such a shame that the Angels have absolutely fucking wasted it.
Yeah,
they've wasted
Trout more than anybody. Shohei's still got some time, but Trout, I mean, his career's basically been just
ruined. It's ruined. This is a guy that if you give him some pitching in the early 2010s, they're a real actual contender. But they've never developed any pitching. I mean, let me give you their rotation right now because I just want to make sure that we're simpatico here on why the Angels are so bad. I'd say that they started the season 7-5, but so obviously Shohei has a .47 ERA after 3 starts, 3 quality starts, 19 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts, 12 walks, whip of .95 to start the season. So after Shohei is Patrick Sandoval, who's having a nice start to the season. And then after Patrick Sandoval is Tyler Anderson, who is definitely on the downswing of his career. He's basically a career minor leaguer, has been fighting his way into the pros. And then you have Reed Detmers, who is a young guy who they brought up basically to see what he can do through 2 starts, 6 ERA, whip of almost 2. Last starter, Jose Suarez, another young guy, 10 ERA, over 2. So, yeah, of course, they've screwed Trout of having any chance at having just more notches on his belt. So I think he's a Hall of Famer no matter what, right? Just based on his career alone. Guys get into the Hall of Fame without winning World Series rings, but wouldn't it be fucking awesome if Mike Trout had like a World Series EP attached to his name?
Yeah, he's already had a Hall of Fame career, but it would be nice. It would be nice to see him like get some serious hardware in the case there. Corey coming in with a question: is Lodolo becoming the ace he was drafted to be?
Corey, I just want to say one thing, and it's just really simple. It's toot. I'm tooting my own horn because I think I was right. I think I was right about this Reds rotation. When we covered the Reds before the season started, I told the listeners of this really, 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 really good podcast that they should be watching Nick Lodolo this year, not necessarily spending as much time watching Hunter Green. And about Nick Lodolo. I watch him pitch, and I've watched him pitch all of the starts or starts to start the year. His command has gotten better. At one point in time, he led the league in strikeouts. Through 2 starts, I believe he had 25 strikeouts. That's a very impressive stat. This is the ace. Right. And my thing that I've said about Hunter Green before, and I'll say it again, and I won't dig into it as much as I have previously. He throws too many pitches to be an ace in a rotation. He's not going to give you more than 165 innings in a season. That cannot be your ace. It just can't. That can't be the guy that you're giving the ball to when the rubber meets the road. If the bullpen's bad, which I've heard that it's bad.
I can't say I haven't seen much of it.
You can't have a guy not go more than 4 innings. You just can't. And Nick Lodolo has been giving you 6 to 7 1/3 innings through 2 starts. So that's an ace in the rotation. A guy that you can hand the ball off to and say, "Give me 7 strong." And if you're taking a lead into the 7th inning and he gets you out of the inning with a lead still, you need to win that game, right? That's the thing. Unfortunately, they haven't done that for him just yet. But it's hard because you look at a guy like him, and I slowly but surely, every time I watch him pitch, I see him less and less in a Reds uniform. I do. Because I think that
classically, that's what they do with talent. They deal it.
Yeah, and I think with the current stature of where they're at and them wanting to be at this point, I'm just going to call them the most profitable major league organization because of how little they want to pay players. I think that's you're looking at a guy that, and again, this is knock on wood, that if he continues to have success over the next 2 years like he's currently having, if he can have a sub-4 ERA, have 180 to 210 strikeouts, throw 190 innings, this is an ace in a playoff contention team. This is a guy that you could take into Game 7 of the AL or NLCS and say, "Get me to the promised land." He has that ability, and a lot of people are still, and even Lance McAllister is still kind of on the Hunter Green train right now. And I think that I'm off of it. I'm off. I haven't seen him do anything different than he did last year. And as a pitcher gets older and as they spend more time in baseball, they have to figure out ways to be better. And when I say better, that's a pretty simple word, right? But how do I get more swings and misses? How do I limit my pitch count through 4 innings, right? We haven't seen him past the 4th inning yet. What's my out pitch when I'm in the stretch versus in the rotation? When do I need to rear back? Because right now, all I'm seeing Hunter Green doing is he's just rearing back and throwing as hard as he can. And then 90 pitches and 3 2/3, 4 1/3, and that's it. We got to pull him. Can't go over 100 pitches with a guy that throws 100 miles an hour. And you're handing the game off to a bullpen that has only won 1 game to start the year. Because every other game that they've won, and it's kind of a limit. Again, this is a limited sample size. It's been with starting pitchers going deeper into the game, 6-7 innings into the game. Ashcraft's done it, and Nick Lodolo's done it. So it's hard, man. It's hard for me to. And obviously, this wasn't the tangent that I wanted to go down. But as I've said before, I'm passionate about the Reds, and I can't turn it off. It's hard for me to just sit and listen to people not give this dude credit and continue to talk about Hunter Green more than talking about him, because we need to be talking about Nick Lodolo. And the Reds need to seriously consider, if they are rebuilding and they're saying that by 2025 they want to be fully a contender again, this is the guy that gets you there. Graham Ashcraft is the guy that helps you in the rotation to get you there. So focus on those guys and get rid of Hunter Green instead. That's where I stand on it.
Yeah. But I think you hit the nail on the head there, man. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's kind of like Chapman when Chapman, first came in. He had the control issues, but he actually took care of it and matured as a pitcher.
He did.
And Green hasn't. I mean, I don't know if Green's been around long enough to. I don't know. I can't remember exactly when Chapman figured it out, but I know it was at least a season or two. And I feel like Green's had that amount of time to get that figured out. It's tough to watch him just throw away games because he can't keep the ball over the plate. Like, okay, that's great. You hold the record for the second fastest pitch in MLB history. Great. Where's the stats to back it up, dude? You almost got a 6 ERA. Give me 6 innings. I don't want a 6 ERA. Give me 6 innings.
Right.
Not 6 walks in the first 3.
Yeah. You're 100% right, man. And I get so frustrated when people talk about him, where I'm not getting, and I don't want to say that I'm giving up on the guy, right? Because I'm not giving up on him, but I think that the Reds need to recognize they can do long-term to be successful. And if he goes 4-12 again, or 5-12, I think is what he was last year, and he has an over 4 ERA, I don't give a shit if he has 170 strikeouts. You're not winning ball games, right? And when you throw, let me fact check myself here. I don't want to completely speak out of pocket here. I'm getting a little heated, so I want to make sure I'm backing myself up here and not sound like a complete doofus. Let's see. Yeah, career 4.51 ERA, 5-13. Excuse me, I missed a I missed a loss last year. 164 strikeouts. So he started 24 games and threw 125 and 2/3 innings. Let's see, 125.67 divided by 24. That is 5 2/3 innings a start. So that tells me that his average start per season was never a quality start.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of that's what I'm getting at. Right. Is that he never put together. He was inconsistent in putting together quality starts, and your opening day starter cannot be that. If that is your ace and your opening day starter, you will lose more than you will win.
Absolutely.
That's like the simplest way that I can put that.
All right. Well, let's kind of switch this to a happier subject.
Let's talk
a fun
about
one. Nate. Well, we're not. I'm not. I want to talk about something quick first. Nate Eaton. I don't know if anybody saw this. The Royals outfielder that gets pulled onto the mound because it's a blowout, and coming in throwing straight gas with movement.
94 two-seam fastball, lateral movement
with 18 inches of movement.
Yeah, that's insane.
Just coming in cold from the outfield.
They did say so. I read something about Nate Eaton that I thought was interesting. He does over the last 2 seasons, he does have the fastest clocked outfield throw as well at 102 miles an hour.
The dude has a fucking cannon.
An absolute missile for an arm. Unreal. All right.
I don't know why this guy isn't on the mound.
Look, is it a Rick Ankiel situation?
Could be,
right? I mean, I think that if the Royals aren't thinking about what they can do with that, they're in rebuild mode. You could pretty much do whatever you want right now. You have your foundation piece with.
Does he have Shohei potential? Can he be a two-way player? I mean, realistically, you have to consider that this is going to be like with Shohei. It's like anything, like Steph Curry. Like this is a big change in the game. Like there's going to be a lot more teams looking to find a Shohei, looking to find a guy that can just increase the range and the flexibility of the team and what they can do with a 25-man roster.
I dig that thought. I think you're right. That's a gate that's been opened up in baseball that's been closed for a long time. Babe Ruth played in the 20s, so 100 years ago.
But I mean, when you see how valuable it is and how valuable, like to have somebody that can go both ways and be dominant, like it's going to open the doors for quite a bit. So
yeah, for sure. I love the thought, dude. Thank you for sharing that. That's an interesting perspective that I haven't really thought of just yet.
Yeah.
All right. So there's currently a 13-0 team in Major League Baseball. Is it the Yankees?
Nope.
Is it it's not the New York Mets either.
Nah.
Or the Dodgers,
nope.
Or the Cubs,
nope.
Or the Astros. It's the fucking Tampa Bay Rays, baby. Let's go. Tampa Bay, small market represent. 13-0 to start the year. Bobby, hit me with some of them beautiful facts that I know you got put together for these boys down in the panel.
Well, they won their game today. It was a pretty close game. They were actually down. They have only of the 108 innings of baseball that they've played, they've only trailed in 5 innings. And this game presented a few of those innings up until the third, where they had a 7-run third inning and batted around the lineup. So ultimately winning 8-3, and still just absolutely dominating the plus 71 run differential over the first 13 games of the season, which that's astronomically high.
You know what the pace is for that?
Plus 884.
Yeah, plus 885. That's the pace that they're currently at, which is insane. The largest ever is like 411 in modern baseball, at least.
That was by the Yankees in what I read, 1930 something, and then prior to that, it was like plus 400s, and it was an 1884 by the Maroons or something like that.
Yeah, the Maroons.
Crazy. Yeah, so I want to just throw the team hitting stats and pitching stats out there for everybody, just to kind of wrap your brain around this. Of 5 major offensive categories, they are only behind in one of them. I'm sorry, they're behind in 2 of them. Excuse me. On home runs, they're first, leading that category by 8. They already have 32. Next best is the Dodgers at 24. Hits, they're at 124. The only team better than them right now is the Blue Jays, which they're going to be playing here. That's the next series coming up for them. Runs, they are in first. They've scored 101 runs in 13 games, which is insane. The next best is the Dodgers. They've only scored 79.
Say that again. How many runs is that?
They've scored 101 so far.
In 13 games?
In 13 games. So like what, 8? Is that average 8 a game? 9 a game?
Yeah.
Anyways, Dodgers are at 79, so the next best team is 22 runs behind, which is wild. Team batting average of 287. Only the Blue Jays are better at 289. So this is going to be a good series coming up. The Rays and the Blue Jays. So make sure you watch that one. Here's the one that I would, if there's anybody in chat, I'd love for you to guess what their team on base plus slugging is. I'll wait a little bit before we circle back to it. Now pitching, they are leading in all major categories except one. Strikeouts, they are sitting in 4th place at 122, but they are first in wins, first in ERA. They have a sub-1 WHIP as a pitching staff, which that's
walks and hits per innings pitched. That's
unbelievable.
And
they lead the league in opponent batting average at 189. I don't know what you do with that, but the team on base plus slugging is 940. 60 points shy of 1,000, which that's just unfreaking believable.
Unbelievable. So I'm gonna draw back. I'm gonna do a little drawback here. So I just talked about Hunter Green's season last year, and kind of where the falters is when you look at him being the future ace of the Cincinnati Reds. And I want to talk about Shane McClanahan for just a second, because we talked about him when we kind of put together our team of the season, right? When we put the American League and National League team together. Mm-hmm. So last year, Shane McClanahan was 12-8, 2.54 ERA, 28 games started, 166 and a third innings pitched. So wow. I'm going to give you the math on that real quick. 160.
Let me figure out which pad I had that on.
That's 6 1/3 innings pitched a game, so there's a quality start each appearance.
Can't be mad at that.
194 strikeouts in 166 innings. If I'm not mistaken, that roughly puts him at 10 Ks per 9, somewhere in that ballpark, 9 point something, 10 point something, or 10 and a half.
Anything around 10 digits per 9 or double digits per 9 is good.
A .926 whip. So that means that every inning he pitched, he was less likely to give up a walk or put somebody on base. That's the simplest way that I could explain whip.
That's pretty sweet.
Starting the season with 21 strikeouts and 17 innings. That puts him right around his career average, just a little bit over. Again, that's through 3 starts, but Tampa Bay is winning because they're not giving up runs. Now, here's the thing is that, offensive production is super high for them, and I think that's, you gave the credit where credit's due. 101 runs. The next closest you said was 77 through 13 games, 12 games. But to only give up 30 runs to start the year through 13 games is exceptional.
Yeah, that's amazing. And their home run differential is incredible too. It's 32 home runs for them, and they've only allowed 6 home runs as a pitching staff.
Yep.
6. That's insane.
So
you're usually good for 1 a game. Like 1 a game is like at least a minimum, you would think,
Yep.
Yeah, and to allow half that's in my mind that was a crazy one that I read.
Yeah.
So
it's a big feat. I think a lot of people are downplaying it because they played the Nationals and they played the Tigers and they haven't played anybody yet, but they're beating everyone they're supposed to beat. That's the thing. They just swept the Red Sox, and now they could end up being the worst team in the AL East, right? We're not sure yet. We're uncertain where Baltimore falls. I think we have a pretty good idea of where Oakland and Detroit and Washington stand in terms of their rankings within their division and even within the league. Mm-hmm. But they're winning those games, and they're winning them handedly too, right? And Kevin Cash said something after today's game, and he said, we're winning when we have to, and that's the most important thing. And he said, we're going to lose, right? It's the nature of the game. You don't go 162-0. It's hard enough to win 100 games, let alone win every game, right? Like it just doesn't happen. But he said, we're winning the games that we need to win. We're showing Major League Baseball where we stand within the league, and we're going to keep playing the same game until somebody tells us that we need to change it. And that is the most simplest form of being a successful manager. He's found the recipe. He's put together the lineup. Pitching's been great for them. I mean, outside of McClanahan, Rasmussen's pitching tomorrow against the Blue Jays. He had a 0 ERA through 2 starts. That's a guy that was an afterthought in baseball, now getting a second chance there. It's cool, man. It's a really cool story. I think it would be less exciting or less sexy for me if it was the Yankees or the Dodgers.
It would not be as good.
Right? But this is a good story for baseball. And, although it kind of sucks because small market teams can exist in today's game. It's just a matter of developing your talent, blah, blah, blah. Well, they can, right? The Tampa Bay has been World Series contenders 3 of the last 7 years, but to put together this thing this early in the year and couple that with how quick games are being done. So the backup stat to that is that Tampa Bay is winning games in less than 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Attendance is up 7,000 seats a game.
Yeah. Yeah. They had 21,000 people in the stands today.
That is
last year they averaged 13.
Yeah. That's 7,000 more than their best selling game last year. After their opening day. Everybody always sells a ton of tickets opening day. But for a city that's potentially relocating to have this kind of excitement, and you couple that with what the Tampa Bay Lightning are doing simultaneously in hockey, like it's a big deal, man. I'm really, really excited about this happening in baseball when baseball's starting to pick up it seems like baseball's picking up a little bit of momentum here, even national news, right? Yeah. You get the Brady Ware news, that's baseball, but you get the Brady Ware thing that happens that gets national media attention. Now you have an undefeated team that's getting national media attention. It was the top headline on ESPN today. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Especially this early in the season.
That's where baseball's been missing for what, man, like 7 years, 8 years?
Yeah, I mean, NBA playoffs are getting ready to kick off. You just finished the Masters, the RBC is going on. NFL draft is coming up, and typically April is a month where baseball gets shunned by the media because there's so much shit going on. And the fact that there's a lot of big things going on in today's media with baseball. And as you had mentioned, it's great. It's great for it. I think the pace of the game is definitely improving the reach and getting people back into it. There was a funny thing. What was it? The Phillies pitcher, I can't remember his name, but he said that they need to push the last call to like the 5th inning or something.
Yeah,
it's like regardless of the story, there's baseball is being talked about a lot more now than I can remember it being, in previous years.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting thing too. The impact on beer sales, faster games have this kind of happened. I believe they said through the first week and a half of baseball, teams are saying that they've lost $1.1 million in beer sales, and that's why they're extending it later in games. And what you're speaking on is Matt Strom saying that you cut off beer sales in the 7th inning to keep people safe, right? To keep them out of the car while intoxicated. And that argument's null and void because if you're going to drink beers at a baseball game, if you're the DD, you get your 2 beers at the beginning of the game. You make those last as long as they don't get longer than
you go to Holy Grail,
Yeah.
you pound 6 or 7 beers and a couple shots, and then you drink water at the game.
Right. Make sure you get some Skyline.
You're drunk. You're drunk going into the stadium, and you're coming down as the game goes on. And you've got a couple hours to do so. And there's a lot of cheese conies can do a lot for you in that time frame.
That's right. But yeah, I think that it's, to me, and I'm speaking kind of on a broad spectrum here, but I think this is important, is that baseball is reaching a greater audience. And that's the thing that we talked about very adamantly when we started this podcast, was that baseball was not getting into the hands of the people it needed to get into the hands to. And I talked to a coworker of mine. He's a big Guardians fan. He took his family to a Guardians game. I can't remember when he said. He was able to drive up to Cleveland, spend the day with his family, go to a Guardians game, drive home, and not feel like shit the next morning, right? And not feel like you really lost anything, or that you lost that you're sacrificing a ton. Cleveland's what, a 2.5 hour drive to Columbus, depending on where you're at.
Not a bad drive. I've done that in a day. It's a good time.
Yeah. But he said that the fact that he has 2 younger daughters, right? Younger daughters, one being a teenager, one I think she might be 9 or 10. And he said they watched 7 innings of the game. They sat down and watched the game and asked questions and were trying to learn. And that's the thing that baseball's missed on for the last, honestly, since the steroid era, right? That's where it started getting kind of stale after guys started getting popped for steroids because there were less home runs. And that's the thing that they are missing, is that the younger audience, I think people want to ingest it. It's common knowledge. People want to ingest their information as quickly and as efficiently as possible. That's the world that we live in now. If your phone takes more than 5 seconds to load, you're like, what's happening? Why is this not working? Right. And baseball kind of works in the same direction. If you're in the top of the second inning, and the top of the second inning takes 15 or 20 minutes, which it could still happen in the game, but if it's just consistently happening and that's your experience of baseball, baseball's boring. But if you can get 3 innings in 35 minutes, and you look up and you're like, oh my God, we're already in the top of the 4th. That's a different feeling. That's a whole different experience for a casual baseball fan or an uncertain baseball fan. It's a whole different way to ingest a game. And, we went to Clippers games too, right? And how fast Clippers games are. You walk in, first pitch is at 7:05. You're probably walking out to your car by 9:40.
Yeah, I was gonna say 9:30, but close enough.
And every time we would leave the game, we're like, man, that was a great game.
Yeah, they were always lit. Yeah, especially Dollar Dog Night. I mean, you can't beat it.
Dime a Dog Night,
or Dime a Dog Night. Sorry,
you give this man $1, he can get 10 dogs.
It is
literally got that dog in me.
It is a fantastic deal up there for anybody that has not been to a Clippers game and is in the vicinity. Make sure you swing by for Dime a Dog Night. But no, I'm interested for whenever I do make my way down to GABP this season, because it will happen at some point. As much as I don't want to support them, I do want to go see for myself how it changes the pace and how quick it is, and really just because you can watch it on TV all you want, but I feel like watching it on TV still I don't know if I get that that vibe and that sensation that it's quicker. I feel like that would be more of an in-person type deal, because you still have the commercial breaks and all that, which makes it seem long. For me personally, I freaking hate commercial breaks, but I'd be interested to see how it compares from watching it on TV to being in the stadium.
Yeah. So again, I've heard it from him and I've heard it from one other person. The game feels faster, and both people said the same thing, which was I had a lot of fun, and
good.
It's been a while. I mean, other than obviously last year we went to the game, we were celebrating something very specific. It was Nick's bachelor party, so we were all just dicking around anyway. Mm-hmm. But I can't tell you the last time that I went to a baseball game and sat down and watched it and felt like when I left, man, that was a lot of fun.
That was a good time.
Because when you're watching a team that's not winning, it's hard to have fun, right? When your team's not winning, it's hard to have fun when you're there, right? There's nobody that – I don't know if there's anybody that plays sports or likes sports that is okay with losing. because you're just not, something doesn't click in your head that'd be like, oh, we lost again? Whatever, no big deal. No, it doesn't work that way. But if you're watching a good game for 2.5 hours and it's an exciting ending, and unfortunately the Reds have been on the other side of the exciting endings in the last 5 games, but leave that game and be like, man, that got really intense in the 9th inning, and it's only 9:50, and you're home by, if you live 40 minutes away from the stadium, you're home before 11. It's not like you're getting home at 12:30 anymore. I mean, I can remember Nick and I went when the Reds played the Rockies, and it was a 7:00 game, and we were not walking back out to his car until like almost 11.
Yeah.
And the score was 5-1. That is not a 4-hour baseball game. 5-1 is not a 4-hour baseball game.
No,
but it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think the pitch clock is a revolutionary addition to the game. It's definitely going to have a much larger impact than I think most people were prepared for it to have. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see how it continues to evolve and continues to shape the game, because it's a much different game at this point now this season as opposed to last season. I mean, the game's completely different. It's a different sport they're playing this year. Obviously, pace has a lot to do with everything. And, the faster you make it, the faster athletes are going to have to adapt and get ready and change things up. And it's going to make for a lot of exciting things that we're going to be watching here in the coming future. But J-Rob, thanks for swinging through, man. We did a Easter food draft earlier. We got into the Devil Rays. I don't know how early you were on that. We talked about Brady Ware. So we got a good one here if you want to catch the beginning part of it on Spotify or Podbean tomorrow. Justin said he thought he would hate it, but very much enjoying the pitch clock. I think there were a lot of people that hated it, hated the idea and the thought, especially people playing baseball growing up. You're like, man, like I like that downtime. Like as a player, I think you're opposed to it. As a viewer and a fan, I think you're for it. And I think that's where, as us growing up and being adults, I think that's where we have to kind of juggle, that thought process of, player versus viewer and kind of blend it together. And it's obviously made some good changes. So,
yeah. No. So I think too, I agree. I think when it first came out, I mean, we even talked about when it first popped up, I'm like, man, this pitch clock thing is not going to work. And then I went to a Clippers game that had the pitch clock, and my 1-year-old made it through 7 2/3 innings. That enough should tell you how meaningful that is. If a toddler can make it through most of a baseball game and you didn't really miss anything, right? Now it sucks when you leave in the 9th inning. You feel like you're kind of leaving. It's like you're leaving your protein on the plate and you're too full to eat it, right? That's usually how I feel when I leave a game early. I don't want to have any leftovers. I want to digest it all. But it's nice to. That's my analogy to baseball.
I love it.
Take that one. I don't know if anybody's ever put food and baseball together like that before, but to me, like, as Declan gets older and, and if I'm fortunate enough to have more children, like I want to be able to take them to a game and be able to have them enjoy most of a game and ask the questions the way that this guy was explaining it to me. That's immediately where my head went, was like, I can't wait to be able to sit down and watch baseball with, Declan, and just be like, ask me everything, whatever comes in your head, just ask me questions like that.
I'm the encyclopedia. I am Google.
But this makes it possible, right? It's like you could be explaining something really fun and you're like, oh, the 5th inning's already over. Now we're getting into the 6th. And you're like, oh my gosh, that took 7 minutes, right? I think there was a game already where a half of an inning took less than 5 minutes. Yeah, that's insane.
It's insane.
That's insane. So
half innings were guaranteed 20 minutes. Used to be. Guaranteed 20.
Yeah.
So sometimes 15 if it was you had a pitcher that was quick pitching and took care of business. But
right.
But now you have to be a little bit more strategic, with bathroom breaks, food runs. You have to. So it's going to be a whole new art form to how you walk away from your seat at the baseball game to be a fat kid and grab a beer.
You're right. The craft is way different. You got to really put a good game plan together in between innings. So you got to have. My thought is that you have if you're with 1 to 3 people, you have a rotation of who gets up, and then you have somebody who can sit there and give you the call back if necessary. Right. So that way, no one's sacrificing. Or if you have the person that's just there to hang out, and even they don't care about the game as much as you do, then they're your runner.
They make all the runs. Yeah. Maybe you just have to like find a friend that hates baseball and drag him to the game and say, "Hey, I'll buy your beers and your food. I just need you to run and go grab it, so I don't miss anything."
Just be the runner. It's like it's the runner in a fine dining restaurant. Just go be the runner. Don't ask any questions. Grab it and hurry.
I've been a food runner before. They will run your dick off.
All right, man. We're an hour in this thing. I know we said we were going to talk about the Guardians, but we were going to have a guest with us. Unfortunately, couldn't be on, and I think we park it, man. I think this has been
I don't want to try to get into that now with us being this far deep.
It's been to me, this has been the best episode we've done so far. I've really enjoyed
enjoyed the hell out of it, man. It's been a good time. Lots of good juicy stats in this episode. I know that's something we like to throw in there, and obviously the impromptu Easter food draft. I think that was the creme de la creme of this episode. So Todd, thank you for the thought. That was fun.
You're welcome, man. I'm like I said, I'm super blessed that I've gotten the opportunity to spend so many Easters with great food and a great atmosphere that it's worth just talking about what you like to eat when you're hanging about, right? And Mary's family does something really interesting that I did not experience before, is that they do Easter brunch. It's not like a lunch or a dinner, it's a brunch.
Yes. So just talk dirty to me.
Shout out to my mother, who brought instead of doing scalloped potatoes, she did basically like potatoes O'Brien, but covered in cheese.
Yes, I want all of it.
And then Mary made like a breakfast sausage casserole. So
yes, my mom makes that. It's good shit.
Yeah, and then you just couple that with ham sliders and deviled eggs. That's what I said. I think it's an undervalued more than ever to me now. It's an undervalued.
I love that. I love that idea because I am such a whore for brunch. I love brunch.
I think it's our generation's thing, right? We created brunch.
It's the perfect time to drink alcohol and eat breakfast food.
Absolutely.
In the late morning or early afternoon.
Absolutely.
There's breakfast food is the best. Like if I had to pick one type of food to eat forever, it would be breakfast food because there's just so much you can do with it.
Yep.
And
there's so many ways you can cook a steak, but there's a lot of ways you can cook steak and eggs, baby.
I mean, you've got, just what you can do with a breakfast burrito. Just it's endless. There's so many things that you can do with it. So many different. Oh man, I've made a couple over the last couple weeks with leftover steak and ham and. Throwing the tortilla in the pan with a little butter and then just the cheese and the meat and sausage and bacon and eggs and fucking it up. Hot sauce, Skyline, always. Do what?
Sure. I said, I'm glad this camera doesn't go below the waist.
Yeah, same.
God,
yeah, sorry. Food. Right, it's our crutch. I think that's a show.
Did we podcast?
I think we did.
Oh, man. All right. Well, next week, I don't know what we're going to do. I've had so much fun just fucking free balling this thing.
Well, we'll get back to you with a game plan for next week. If you guys didn't catch last night's episode, it was a good one. Hope you enjoyed the episode tonight. If you didn't catch it all tomorrow morning on Spotify, Apple Music, Podbean. What else are we on?
Google Podcasts.
We're everywhere. We're in your face. Todd, you got anything else?
No, just appreciate everybody tuning in, listening tonight. We're gonna continue to fucking do the damn thing, and
yes.
I heard it say it before the podcast started, and I'll say it again. Fuck you, Phil Castellini. And with that, I'm Todd. This is Bobby. A good night.